Suga of BTS, known for his modest and calm demeanor, recently showed a thoughtful side that often remains away from the public eye when he decided to send a luxurious gift to RM, his longtime bandmate and partner throughout their musical journey. A gesture born not from publicity motives, but from the deep bond they have nurtured since their early days in the entertainment industry. And the gift was not only an object of material value, but also a symbol of appreciation for RM's tireless role as the leader of BTS, highlighting the mutual respect and understanding that have defined their professional relationship. So when word of the gift began to circulate among fans and media, the story that emerged was less about the price tag and more about the warmth of two world-renowned artists maintaining a sincere connection amidst global fame, where even small acts of care become meaningful stories. And once the gift arrived, it became a quiet point of conversation among staff and those close to them, as they saw RM receive it with a natural expression of gratitude rather than surprise, while Suga himself refrained from framing the moment as anything public, instead letting it remain an authentic part of their private relationship. And for observers who paid attention, the event revealed another layer of celebrity life often overshadowed by stage lights, showing that behind the glamour lies an ordinary rhythm filled with gestures of attention and simplicity. And that day ended calmly, without any grand celebration, only the warmth of appreciation accompanying their steps through an already busy schedule. After the gift's arrival, daily activities carried on at their usual rhythm, with RM continuing his work in the studio, drafting material, and coordinating creatively on ongoing projects, while Suga completed some personal tasks before returning to his own workspace. And the noteworthy aspect was not in any formal celebration or public disclosure, but in how both of them demonstrated a consistent relationship through their professional lives, where the gift served as a subtle background detail, enriching their story without altering its dynamics. Because in the world of celebrities with packed schedules, daily routines are often highly structured, and within those routines, a gesture like a gift can become an emotional pause that refreshes the atmosphere. So it was unsurprising when those around them remarked that the moment added another dimension to the bond of two bandmates who had shared so much, not in the form of drama, but through enduring familiarity. And from a journalistic perspective, this kind of occurrence reflects a different side of idols' lives, that beyond tours, recordings, and public appearances, there are simple yet meaningful interactions. And on that day, RM resumed work with a lighter energy, as if the gift offered a personal reminder of appreciation, while Suga returned to his activities in his usual, understated manner, preferring to let actions speak for themselves rather than words. And thus, in the stream of celebrity gossip, often driven by sensationalism, this story felt grounded, realistic, and relatable to anyone who values the gestures of friendship in professional and personal spaces. The days that followed carried on in a natural rhythm, with RM continuing to immerse himself in music-related routines, managing schedules, and engaging with his production team, while Suga maintained his steady work pattern. And though there was never any official publication about the gift, word quietly spread across circles within the entertainment industry and eventually reached media outlets accustomed to tracking BTS's members, turning the story of Suga's luxurious gift to RM into a talking point not because of drama or spectacle, but because of the rare glimpse into their enduring camaraderie, where years of professional partnership are sustained through simple yet valuable gestures. And in the midst of broader headlines about concerts, collaborations, and future plans, this small story added a personal shade that revealed the depth of their bond, something that allowed the public to feel closer to them by seeing the human side hidden behind towering achievements. So when coverage began appearing, the tone leaned reflective rather than sensational, focusing not on the material cost, but the symbolic meaning of one friend acknowledging another. And as the gossip spread, fans responded warmly, interpreting it as evidence of the group's internal warmth, strengthening the narrative that BTS's success is not solely built on stage performance, but also on genuine companionship off stage, providing a sturdy foundation in the demanding global industry. Over time, the gossip surrounding Suga's gift to RM found its place among the many ongoing stories about BTS members. And even though it was never highlighted by an official statement, the significance lay in the everyday reality, in how a simple act could reflect a lasting connection, where Suga, true to his quiet nature, chose to express appreciation through a tangible gesture, while RM accepted it without turning it into a public spectacle, continuing his daily responsibilities as usual. So, for gossip media, the charm of the story came precisely from its authenticity and groundedness, not from exaggerated spectacle, giving audiences a chance to see a human side that can often be more inspiring. And as both continued their daily rhythm with scheduled work, studio sessions, and organized living, the news of the gift lingered as a gentle story enriching the larger narrative of their relationship, not as a source of controversy, but as warm, light gossip, adding nuance to the lives of public figures who are often seen as distant from ordinary experience, when in reality they also nurture friendships with the same gestures of support. And in this way, the episode of The Luxurious Gift concluded naturally, as one among many fragments of their daily lives, illustrating that sincere gestures remain among the most valuable aspects of long-term relationships, even amidst the unrelenting cycle of global fame. After the arrival of the gift, the daily rhythm of activities continued without disruption, as RM focused on his studio work, organizing creative material and managing production tasks, while Suga attended to personal matters before returning to his own music projects. And the relevance of the moment did not lie in public displays or formal announcements, but rather in the way both figures demonstrated the steadiness of their bond through their routines, where the gift simply became an understated backdrop that enriched the dynamic without changing its flow. Because in the tightly scheduled lives of global artists, every gesture of personal attention carries weight as a pause that adds warmth. And in this sense, people close to them observed how the gesture subtly deepened the already strong camaraderie between the two bandmates, who had endured and grown together over many years. Not in ways that sought drama, but through quiet familiarity that resonates with anyone watching from outside. And for the entertainment press, such an event underscores an often overlooked side of idol life, that beyond performances and global campaigns, their private interactions are grounded in simple human gestures, which in turn explains why, on that day, RM returned to his work with a more buoyant spirit, his presence in the studio carrying a slightly lighter tone, as though the gesture had reminded him of personal appreciation, while Suga remained characteristically understated, pursuing his work without the need for attention or comment, his way of letting action carry meaning, rather than words. And this made the story stand out in a landscape of celebrity gossip that so often leans toward exaggeration or spectacle. Because what unfolded here was grounded and realistic, reflecting the value of friendship within professional and personal spheres. And as schedules moved forward, both men navigated their commitments with the same sense of focus as before, but now with an additional layer of appreciation that observers could know and interpret as an affirmation that behind the immense scale of their careers lies a steady current of ordinary yet meaningful interactions that sustain them and give depth to their public lives. In the days that followed, the presence of the gift became part of the natural flow of life, as RM immersed himself in the demands of music production, overseeing schedules, engaging with the creative team, and balancing the steady pace of his role, while Suga maintained his own disciplined pattern of work. And though there was never any formal disclosure of the gift, its story traveled quietly through industry circles and eventually reached media outlets accustomed to monitoring the movements of BTS members, turning the gesture into a subject of discussion, not because of spectacle, but because it revealed a rare glimpse of sustained camaraderie between two artists whose partnership had been forged through years of shared responsibility and mutual respect. And in the wider context of constant headlines about performances, collaborations, and upcoming projects, this account offered a softer angle, a reminder that their success is underpinned by human connections that go beyond the spotlight. And in the tone adopted by much of the coverage, the focus shifted away from monetary value toward the symbolic importance of one colleague acknowledging another, which encouraged readers to see the act not as indulgence, but as affirmation of friendship. And as word spread, fans reacted warmly, interpreting it as further proof that the strength of BTS lies not only in their artistic achievements, but also in the authentic relationships within the group, bonds that help them navigate the relentless pace of the global entertainment industry. And on a personal level, the gesture provided a momentary lift to RM's otherwise demanding days, offering a subtle reminder of recognition, while Suga carried on quietly, consistent with his preference for action over commentary. And within this balance, the story evolved into a piece of gossip that felt grounded and relatable, less about extravagance and more about the enduring quality of companionship that sustains long-term collaboration in an environment where continuity and trust are essential. As time moved forward, the account of Suga's luxurious gift to RM settled naturally among the steady stream of stories that surround BTS members, and without any official confirmation, its significance remained in the ordinary reality of their lives, where a simple act of generosity reflected a deeper connection sustained over many years. Suga, true to his reserved nature, chose to express appreciation through a tangible gesture, while RM accepted it quietly and continued with his daily responsibilities. And for observers, the interest of the story rested not in extravagance, but in authenticity, since gossip media found value in presenting a moment that revealed a human side of fame, rather than amplifying spectacle. And as both artists moved through their schedules with studio sessions, meetings, and structured routines, the presence of the gift lingered as a warm detail, enriching the larger narrative of their relationship, not as controversy, but as light gossip that underscored the companionship that underlies their public achievements. And in this way, audiences were reminded that behind the global recognition and endless cycle of performances, these artists also share friendships that mirror ordinary human experiences, where small gestures hold lasting meaning. And in the natural close of this chapter, the story of the gift became one among many elements of their ongoing journey, offering a grounded example of how sincerity and appreciation can continue to define long-standing relationships, even under the unrelenting gaze of worldwide attention.